We've talked about deepfakes a little bit before, and I guess I feel like sometimes we've felt like it was okay, sometimes there's been a problem with it. This clearly is a problem. John's going to tell us about it on today's Not So Critical update.
So, pretty serious topic. It is about the first real deepfake used in, I believe it's the first one used in a war where it's obvious that this was made by Russia. They've created a deepfake of President Zelensky, the Ukrainian president, surrendering to Russia in a Facebook video. So it was removed, and it was really good. It was super well done, and
Did you see
it shows you, yeah. And I saw stills. It looked like him. It was same posture, same body, same clothes that you've seen him wear. And I guess the scary thing about this is that this isn't going to be obviously the last time we see misinformation being used in warfare. This is exactly the type of thing that leads to a cyber nuclear war, where you can't trust medias. You don't know what's true. And, a lot of Russians are going to see this and they'll be like, oh, yeah, we won. And then others are going to be like, no, we didn't win. What are you talking about? And no one knows what the actual truth is. It's very, very scary, very serious.
Yeah, that's kind of the point of this. It's not to actually convince people that Ukraine has given up. It's to make any information source untrustworthy. So then the official, the government, seems more trustworthy.
Exactly.
It's to discredit everything else.
And we've talked about deepfakes before and how to verify this.
Yeah.
Maybe the stills didn't do justice to the quality. In the live video, the perspective's a little off. It's a little pixelated. And it made me think that, similar to what Peter said about, like, they don't have to do a great job with it. It's just for their people.
Right.
It's not for outside consumption. That kind of rang in my head as I was looking at this.
Yeah, well, I've seen some deepfakes which are very, very convincing. And I think that the Russian government, if they wanted to, they could have found an actor that looked like him. They could have done a proper set. They could have used more AI, more processing power to refine it so that it was more convincing. It's a bit like the spammers who send out mails with deliberately including spelling mistakes, because most of the people who see them will go, oh, that's a scam, I'm not clicking on that. But the people who don't notice it are more likely to fall for the whole scam. It's improving your ROI, basically.
Right.
And the return on investment here is convincing people that that information on the internet isn't to be trusted.
Yeah, and potentially incredibly dangerous.
Really.
Super dangerous.
100%.
In cases like this. Because it's not going to be immediate obvious that it is a fake. And a lot of damage can be done in the meantime.
And what are the reactions of governments? Like this is an extremely tame example of how dangerous something like this could be.
Well, what the thought crossed my mind is okay. Well, when have they done it professionally and properly? Would we know? Have is there stuff out there that we just haven't caught?
To some extent, the risk there is the nature of today's media environment, right? So it used to be probably you wouldn't surrender a war on television. You would actually send emissaries and go meet with somebody face to face. It also used to be that you wouldn't declare policy on Twitter, but that's something that happens now. So the bar is being lowered as the ability to fake goes up, and where they meet in the middle could be somewhat disastrous.
Yeah. Here's the thing that I hate about this so much is that it works, because it works on me at least, and my brain goes through this process of, okay, so what information can I trust? Actually, wait, I've seen a lot of pro-Ukraine stuff recently. How much of that is real? And what sources can I trust? And what story is coming out about is Russia really bombing hospitals? Oh God, I sound like fucking Tucker Carlson now. Like I am starting to doubt things. It's good to have a healthy amount of skepticism, but when you really start to break down, you have no trust whatsoever. It's just horrible.
It's a very isolating thing, and I think it's super important to doubt everything. It's extremely important to make sure that when you read an article that says Russia is bombing hospitals, go and try to figure out if Russia is bombing hospitals. Now, later on, good example, because that did happen, and there was drone footage that Ukraine caught. And this stuff, like, no matter if you have a $900 million budget, a real explosion from drone footage is going to be a real explosion. Like, you can tell. You just can. There's a sense to it. You're watching this, and they are just shelling the shit out of these buildings. And there's people, civilians inside. Like, so it is, of course, very important for us to doubt information that comes out, no matter what it is or who it's about. But it's also very important to then not sit there and doubt, but to try and go and verify it yourself.
Yeah, I don't think
there's many ways that you can do so.
I don't think I'd say doubt everything, but I certainly would say question everything. Think critically about everything.
Yeah, exactly. That's a better way of. That's exactly what I meant. And yeah, it's tough because a lot of the propaganda we see is truthful, but it's biased because it's meant to continue
all the propaganda we see is biased to be technically correct. Sorry to be a dick.
And as Peter said, it's getting easier and easier to believe. And if I see just a quick clip on TV of somebody who I do believe to be credible saying something that doesn't make any sense, is my first thought going to be like, oh, that's a deep fake? No, I'm going to have to go look it up. And why did he say this? And what happened? And oh, here now there's this whole controversy about a deep fake and he didn't actually say it. It's just going to erode the nature of truth in general and make me more skeptical of the world and increase somebody else's ability to get me to buy into their propaganda. It's very dangerous.
It's horrible. This is the last episode that we're recording today, and I really wish we'd pick something else because this is kind of I don't see any upside to this at all. Is there something funny we can say about it? Niet.